What's going on, YouTube? I've got an update. The turbos finally came in a couple days ago, so I'm hoping to get those mounted up to the motor today. We'll see how it looks. And first of all, I figured I'd go over the kit and show you everything that you get with the ON3 top mount kit. So I'll show you that here in a second. A few of the things you need to do before you do start installing the kit. There's a tab. You see how that tab looks right there? The one on this side, you actually have to cut that off. You can tell where I cut it off. It actually hits the piping. And the other one, I think it was this one right here, needs to be shaved just a hair. From what I've seen, it looked like it was going to touch that or get really close. And all the studs have to be pulled out. They use bolts instead. So all those come out. If you don't pull them out, the downpipe over here actually hits that top stud where it can't go far enough in to clear. And I've did upgrade a throttle body a little bit. The last Whipple car that was here, he had a BBK 85mm throttle body with him that he actually just gave to me, so I figured I'd give it a try. Should make pretty good gains over the stock one. I'll show you the size difference. You can see the difference right there. See that one? And you look at that one. One thing I do like on the BBK throttle body is that, see how thick that lip is on here and how thin that one is? They're still really close to the same size. So the fittings or the coupler that comes with the ON3 kit should still fit both of them. The only thing I may have to do is change or cut the piping coming to the intake a little bit, because I've got that 18 manifold and that throttle body sits on a bigger angle than the 15 to 17 manifolds. I'm just gonna start over here and start going over the whole kit. The first thing, there's the intercooler. They've got a really good intercooler, flows good, and it does make a lot of power. There's all the clamps. I've got the bolts for the manifolds. You can see them there. Here is the mounts for the intercooler. And I'm not sure what's in these boxes. It's like some exhaust clamps. Okay, that. Here is the new ECU relocation bracket that relocates it down underneath the headlight behind the fender liner. It's like I've got all the boost couplers. Here is some, that looks like the oil fitting, or one of them, that goes by the oil filter to get oil. There's the overflow tank. I've got the blow-off valve right there. They use a single blow-off valve. I've got both wastegates. They come with extra ends, so if you had your own piping, you could just weld these on and then connect to it. You don't use those. Here's the oil drain lines. Comes with it's like most of the fittings. I don't think it comes with the fittings to tap into the oil pan though, but I already bought those just in case. We got the filters for the turbo. There's a turbo one, there's the other one. These are the 61mm ceramic ball bearing turbos. I think they're pretty good. They do make a lot of power. Here's the AC relocation line, or I guess rerouting line. Here is the wire you'll use to extend the wires that were going to your fuse box earlier. When you relocate it, you have to extend them. You have to make sure you keep those in the right order, which I'll show when it comes to installing on the car. Here is the cold side piping. It's all in here, and the hot side. The manifolds, the quality of their welds actually looks really good. I've actually looked over them pretty close. and everything looks really good on them. Got the manifolds, you got the pipes that connect to the manifold, and then your down pipes are back here. That there is actually normally a separate piece right there that I put together already. As far as the welds though, they got really good welds. You can see around there, and they're welded on the inside. I was super happy with it. It does look good, and the manifolds can make a ton of power. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come start pulling these studs out, and I'll start getting it bolted up. Area cleaned up pretty good. I used some light sandpaper, just clean it up. Want to make sure I don't have any exhaust leaks with there being some back pressure. Want to make sure I get all the boost. These middle ones, I can get them started because they're got to have notches. The manifold, well, first I have to put my gasket. I haven't trimmed this one right here yet. I think last time when I test fitted it, I just had two top ones bolted. I think it may have been leaning over a little bit. With the bottom ones being tightened, it looked like this was actually going to clear. Got the other side all tightened up, so I'll get this side ready next. Keep getting those bolts too tight. Slide under there, it'll fit. The manifolds are all on, and since I tightened those rear bolts up, or the lower ones, it actually does clear between there. I'll have to make a heat shield or something, because I've heard of people melting the valve covers right there. So I'll have to try and do something about that. Other than that, everything seems to fit pretty good. Same with the other side, it's got quite a bit more clearance. Now I'm ready to get these turbos bolted up. Everything on these is V-band. Get the exhaust side V-band, so you can move it wherever you want after you get it mounted. And I try to turn any of the V-band clamps somewhere where I'll be able to get to them once it's on the car. I'm not going to tighten it all the way up now. I still want to be able to move it for me to get my downpipe on. Everything here is loose too. I need to get them clocked whenever I'm ready for that. I'll probably take the housings off and paint them white. This housing up here is what I've been wanting to do. So, as I get to the other side. Everything fits good. It's really simple to put together, at least outside of the car. What I'm wanting to do is get everything up here together, and I want to put the trans on here and make sure my downpipes will fit the Turbo 400, since the bell housing is a little wider on it than your 6R80 or your MT82. Next, I'm ready to get this downpipe put on. I'll leave these loose too, so the downpipe can still move around. I'll make sure I can still spin it this way, and the turbo can move this way, so everything can be adjusted. Next, I get the other side. I got that mounted up. I know when it's in the car, this here is going to have to get really close to this over here. And I had already added this piece on. It's got a big piece taken out of it for the steering shaft to clear. See if I can get a light and shine into there. There you can see it. It's just on one side, so it should still get plenty of airflow through there. I'm not going to mount the downpipes that connect to here, because I'm going to need to lift this thing off of here and get the transmission on and test fitment on that. But for now, this will wrap up this video. I'll be working on it again tomorrow. Hopefully get those wastegates put on. Figure right there. So stay tuned.